Well, I've seen a lot of Christmases, but the best one I ever did was the time that I played Santa Claus for a bunch of orphan kids. You see, I was in town one day just picking up some feed when I seen this piece of paper tacked up on a corkboard, so I took it down to read. Can you help us out, it said? Can you kindly volunteer? Can you make a difference to some kids? Maybe spread some Christmas cheer. It said, we've got lots of little things that anyone can do. Cook and serve Christmas dinner, maybe bring a gift or two. Well, it just so happened that year that I was free on Christmas Day. All the hands would be at their homes and all my kids had moved away. So I drove on down to the home and told them I was there to see just what kind of jobs they might have for an old cowboy like me. Well, they were mighty glad to see me, and they gave me a list of chores. I'd be there to decorate, and then serve, and then sweep the floors. Well, when Christmas finally rolled around, it was a fine West Texas day. I planned on driving the pickup truck, but decided to ride the bay. It wasn't but an hour into town, sitting astride old Chalk. I could enjoy the scenery, and he could use the walk. When we got there, I tied Chalk to a picket fence with lots of grass there all around. I loosened up the centromite, and then I rubbed him down. But as I rode up, and them women folk was upset, I could see. They was a worrying and a fussing. I thought, Lord, what could this be? Then this one lady come up to me, though I can't remember her name. She said, oh, this is terrible. Christmas just won't be the same. Well, hold up there, ma'am, I says. Is there something I can do? Well, she said, it's just that Santa Claus has come down with the flu. And she got this gleam in her eye. It seems she had some great idea. Sir, she said, do you reckon that you could play Santa Claus for me? It won't be that hard, she said. Inside, we got the suit. Come on, cowboy, what do you say? It could be a real hoot. Well, shucks, I never thought about it, but I could be old St. Nick. I told that lady, go get that suit. I can see you can make your pick. But when she brought that suit out, I thought we needed another plan. It was clear to me that suit was meant for some other kind of man. Hope it don't seem harsh to say, but that suit was meant for lesser men. It'd been all right if I was 5 foot tall, but I stand 5'10". Oh no, she says, this won't work. You can't even get it on. Did you have anything in red in your closet back at home? Well, ma'am, I said, I only have two things in red that I can wear. One is this here flannel shirt, and the other is my trapdoor underwear. But I'll just stuff this shirt with a throw pillar here and there, and I'll come up with a story that will satisfy those kids in there. Well, things went pretty well from there on out if you don't count one small child. All the others were pretty well satisfied, but this one just ran wild. He just wouldn't settle down. His head as hard as an old rope knot. An ornery little cuss. In need of a woodshed like his knot. He says, if you're Santa, tell me, where's your sleigh? I said, I don't need one because I ain't no snow today. He says, Santa don't wear flannel. I ain't going to be surprised. I told him I'd spilled coffee on my suit. It's out getting organized. I said, why don't you and me go out back and have a little talk? The other kids could use a break, and I needed to check on Chalk. As we was walking through the kitchen, he was still giving me what for. And to this day, I've never seen as big a change in someone as when that kid walked through that door. That kid that just been giving me such grief stood, no, messed it up. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
He was walking in the kitchen. He was still giving me what for. To this day, I've never seen a bigger change as when that kid walked through that door. He was still giving me the dickens, but he stopped in mid-complain. I stopped, turned around to see what was wrong, and I thought I'd gone insane. That boy who'd just been giving me such grief stood stock still in the doorway, staring at Chalk in disbelief. Where'd that horse come from? He wasn't here before, the little fellow queried as he stood there in the door. Well, you're right. I saddled him up and rode him into town. You're right. I don't have a sleigh. I like a horse is what I found. Then that kid that had been so tough, he sat down there and cried. We used to have some horses before my mom and daddy died. Well, all the heirs just left me right then. I sure was taken aback. I reached out and picked that little fella up and I set him in my cab. I led him around the yard a time or two, or three, and then I asked the head mistress if he could take a ride with me. Well, we set off at a gallop, old Chalk, that kid and me, and that boy was in seventh heaven, and that was plain to see. We rode through all those dusty streets. Yep, we rode all up and down. By the time that we got back, that boy's feet was barely touching the ground. Then he did something that to this day brings a tear and gives me pause. He wrapped his arms around my neck and said, "You really are Santa Claus."